What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So Spider-Woman is getting nerfed. I don't think anyone was expecting this. This definitely caught everyone off guard. So Kabam is like, she is performing better as they wanted her to on defense, because in the champion attribute she's being rated at 3.5, and she's definitely not a 3.5. She is a bigger threat. I'd say 4 probably. So therefore they will be removing the Ensnare debuff from her kit. So I don't know why they want to remove this from the entire kit. They can just cut it from defense, and I understand why they want to do that, and they literally say it here. So they say that it was strong enough to add confusing interactions across the game, and I understand this. They don't want to make it like Domino 2.0, because Domino can fail some very weird abilities, some being like Joe Fixit's base cards, like the attack that he gets, and like, for example, the Ensnare debuff can fail like bursts of damage from like Spot Special 2, Silk's Heavy when you do a 40 combo into Heavy. Like, that's some very weird interactions that you wouldn't predict until, you know, you get destroyed by them being failed. So I understand this, but removing the Ensnare from attack is huge, because that adds ability accuracy and it also prevents evade. Also, the confusing thing is that when the rebalance came for Okoye, Ensnare was fine. They did not want to remove Ensnare from her kit, and the only thing that I can think of why they want to remove it from Spider-Woman and not Okoye is because she's not really meant to counter evade, because as a skill champion for Okoye you would want to counter evade because most of them are like evaders. And then Spider-Woman, I guess they thought that she doesn't need it, but it's honestly, it's kind of a big deal. Like, that Ensnare did a lot of things. Like, it allows you to do bullseye, it allows you to do sometimes, you know, Dark Phoenix, and some other matches that, you know, you wouldn't want the opponent to evade or fail some ability accuracy. So since Kabam is going to be removing the Ensnare debuff, I want to recommend a similar debuff that's actually going to be a little worse and, let's say, like, less overpowered for Spider-Woman, and that is the agility debuff that Void has. So it reduces the ability accuracy of evade and the dexterity by 30%. We don't care about the dexterity part, because if it's going to be offensive, the AI doesn't care if it's dex, it's failed. So this reduces ability accuracy, and this is worse than Ensnare for one big reason. If we go to Okoye right here, you will see that the Ensnare, it prevents evade from activating and reduces ability accuracy. So preventing evade is much better than reducing its ability accuracy. Because let's say if you want to use the Ensnare for Bullseye, you're going to prevent his evade. But Bullseye's evade cannot be reduced by ability accuracy. So if you try to reduce its ability accuracy, it's still going to trigger. So the two examples I can think of that it wouldn't work, this agility debuff, is Bullseye and Nightcrawler. Because preventing evade means nothing. Like, it's just not going to trigger. So yeah, I think that would be a good replacement if they just don't want to include the Ensnare into your kit at all. And I think it would make it just as good. It would remove the ability accuracy, which honestly it isn't that big of a thing, because you couldn't really rely on it. Like, you try to do the Spider-Woman versus Dark Phoenix fight, and sometimes it works well, sometimes it doesn't. It's kind of weird. It also works like that with Okoye as well. But it's kind of a bummer that she is going to get nerfed. And I think the biggest reason why everyone is upset is because everyone has ranked up Spider-Woman, because she's one of the best champions right now. And the reason this is terrible is because it takes them 6 months to decide if a champion needs to get nerfed or buffed. I think 6 months is just way too long, man. Like, make it at least 4 months, because in 4 months, not many people would have ranked her up if you compare it to 6 months. So I think it's just inevitable that this is going to happen again if one of our favorite attackers or defenders, you know, gets nerfed after 6 months of being released. Like, I'm literally, when I see Spider-Woman here, I immediately think of Carolina. I personally thought Carolina is going to get nerfed as soon as I upload my first video. And seeing Spider-Woman being nerfed, I am like 99% sure that something's going to change with Carolina as well. But yeah, man, that's a bummer for sure. And another reason why I think this is kind of silly is that she's being nerfed on defense when we have Serpent, and Serpent is like 10 times better as a defender as Spider-Woman, and Spider-Woman gets nerfed and Serpent doesn't. You know, it's definitely very weird. Also, kind of like Bullseye had the same situation. Like, I'd say Serpent is better defended than Bullseye, but Bullseye is definitely better than Spider-Woman, and he's closer to Serpent, so I can justify the nerf on Bullseye's defensive abilities. But for Spider-Woman, it doesn't really make sense. But yeah, man, that's what I wanted to talk about today, guys. Let me know what you guys think about the Spider-Woman nerf. I hope Kabam rethinks it and do something, maybe keep the Ensnare on attack, or I don't know, maybe just give her a pursuit, give her something so that she can somewhat counter evade but not prevent it, and yeah, then she can be balanced then. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.